Seth Michael May.
I'm Sean Behrens. I'm Abram Kaplan.
And I'm Judy Mayer.
And you're listening to Obscuria Filmcast.
Greetings, welcome to Obscuria Filmcast. I'm your co-host Abram Kaplan, and we will be joined momentarily by our other co-hosts, Sean, Seth, and Judy. Today we will be discussing Body Parts. In this classic 90s body horror sci-fi flick, we have Jeff Fahey star as the recipient of an arm transplant with some questionable ethical ramifications, not to mention some serious lifestyle consequences for the recipient and the family he loves. Worth mentioning is a standout performance from supporting actor Brad Dourif, Chucky from Child's Play, Billy Bibbit from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, who plays the other arm transplant recipient. This film is totally bonkers and everything you'd hope to find in an over-the-top body horror flick from the turn of the 90s decade. Body Parts is available for rental or purchase on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, Vudu, YouTube, Redbox, and Google Play. This episode was recorded live on YouTube on Wednesday, July 6th, 2022. If you enjoy our podcast, please subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Leave a like and comment on one of our YouTube streams, and share a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate all of your support and welcome your engagement on our weekly YouTube live streams. And now, here's our discussion of Body Parts.
All right, we're live. What's going on? We got Body Parts today, 1991. Sean's pick. Directed by Eric Red, starring Jeff Fahey.
Jeff Fahey.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's
Lindsay Duncan and Kim Delaney. My mom would just rent random videos at the movie rental place, and then we would just watch them. And I remember this one as a kid, and it always kind of stuck with me because of the imagery. And I remember Jeff Fahey because the next year he starred in Lawnmower Man, and that was everybody's favorite film when it came. That was a great movie
because of the cyber sex scene in Lawnmower Man. That's why I remember everyone loved Lawnmower Man, because it was the first time there was cyber sex in a movie.
Oh yeah,
that was like a big deal. That sequence.
Wait, when was Lawnmower Man?
92.
Wait, that's the same director?
No. Brett Leonard directed Lawnmower Man. This is written and directed by Eric Red.
Right.
But Jeff Fahey was big at the time.
Oh, Jeff Fahey, right.
Yeah, he started.
Oh, that's right. He was in both.
Right, and he was like Lapidus in Lost. I love me some Lost too.
Yeah, that's right. He was in Lost.
So I mean, I remember
he started out as a ballet dancer.
Really?
Is that why he's so cute?
He's got beautiful eyes.
He does.
Yeah.
He's a
good-looking guy, and he moves well. So I'm not surprised.
He's got great eyebrows.
Yeah, I saw that he started as a dancer. and then he started. I think he went to Broadway and then got picked up into TV. Anyway, we could talk more about the film, but I just was like, oh,
No,
he
it's
was a
good.
ballerina.
Was no, yeah. Oh no, a ballerino. Please,
A ballerina. I don't know what you call it. My
It's
husband's
a
the same
ballerina.
thing.
Ballerino,
He's a ballet
ballerina.
dancer.
I mean, it comes from Latin, so yeah,
Yes.
Right.
I guess.
But I remember some of these tableaus in my head, and then because the early '90s was a strange time, a lot of movies were greenlit, a lot of different movies were made, and I'm talking thousands a year, and all these weirdo things. And growing up, I was like, wait, was the story really this and this and this?
Wait,
And
don't you think that the early of any decade is kind of weird? Like 90 to 91, 80 to 81, because it's like a psychological thing. Everybody's in the previous. They're like, what is this new decade going to be about?
I'm thinking
I
about
know what
and
the 70s was about. I know what the
Well,
so
I'll
it's like
tell you this.
it always has the first couple of years of the decade. It always has a little bit of the 80s in it.
I
right?
guess, but in 2001, the early aughts,
Yeah.
that was but especially 2001, even before 9/11, there was a lot of influential shit that came out that year.
Mhm.
02 and 03, not so much, and then 04. But it's
That's
called
what I'm
the
saying. The
aughts.
first couple of years, it's like everybody's like, it's a new
Yeah,
decade.
no, I see it.
What
Yeah,
are
I
we
see
all about? You know,
They're greenlighting films in like 1979 for 1980. So
that's
it's not
true. Also,
thinking. I mean, they might be. I remember in the 90s there was something. I think it was a phone company. I'm not sure. And they got what's his name, Crazy Dennis Hopper, to talk about what the 90s were going to be like. And it was like Dennis Hopper jumping around. It's like, if you think the 90s are not going to be the new 60s, like, and this whole thing. And of course, nothing he said.
That's a good point. I remember if you could watch stuff now that was made back then, they would always say it was the 90s. It was the 90s, like it was some big deal.
There's a little bit of truth to that. The 90s were kind of like the new 60s in a lot of ways. Certainly with rock and roll music.
It was
and then with Quentin
thing.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
You know, there was a little bit of that throwback nostalgia.
Totally. And then the computer stuff.
We were only in the 60s for 2 years.
And the computer was like a new frontier thing.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe for a few years, but I don't know.
But the one thing that watching Body Parts is that I love the cinematography. A, I loved it. B, this is like a movie from the 60s. This is a 60s B horror film.
It's like a Corman film.
Watching the whole thing, I'm like, this should have been made in 1961. No shit, in Tulsa, in a drive-in.
Totally.
That's what it seemed like to me. The story, I was like, oh my God. But it's not. It's like the 90s. It's in color. You see Jeff Fahey. And you get a little bit of a sex scene. It was amazing. You even have the evil doctor. Because I saw a lot of those B horror films, those 50-cent DVDs that they had at the supermarket DVD bin.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a lot of those, and all of them had one thing in common: a crazy doctor doing his thing. But in this one, it was a chick, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
made it, like even more creepy. You
know?
Just
like didn't Misery come out like right around this time?
Not that she was a
doctor.
Year prior. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Right, but it's like some crazy, crazy chick torturing a guy. But like, yeah, no, I think absolutely it is kind of like I didn't think about that when we were watching it, but you're right. This film could have been. It wouldn't have looked the same, but it could have been made in the 60s.
Oh my God, it's the same. I bet you that's when the novel was written. Anyway,
this is based on a novel. How did I miss that?
Choice Cuts by Pierre Bibbit.
Dude, how did that completely go above?
I know. I'm like, this is a novel? Who would write this?
There is no Wikipedia link to the novel. Like, I can't read about it.
It's called Choice Cuts by Pierre Bibbit. I can't say it. But let me just before we talk about
Pierre Bibbit wrote this?
Yes.
He wrote Planet of the Apes.
There you go. He wrote this one too. Did he really?
Voilà.
Okay.
If it's Pierre Bibbit, he wrote Planet of the Apes.
Pierre Boulez is a classical composer. I think we're getting confused.
Who is this Pierre?
Pierre Boulez is a classical conductor, rather, and composer. And I'm not aware of him writing anything like novels. This is apparently based on a horror novel called Choice Cuts by Pierre Boileau
Yeah.
and Thomas Narcejac. I'm butchering these
Yeah.
pronunciations, but
It says it's the nom de plume used by the prolific French crime writing duo
okay.
of Pierre Boulot and
So
Pierre.
Pierre Ayraud is their real
Ayraud.
name, and Thomas Narcejac.
Yeah. Oh no, Pierre Ayraud,
Oh, no.
aka Thomas.
So
Oh,
who wrote
yes,
Planet
correct.
Apes?
Yeah.
What the
I
So
wanna
they
know
wrote
what
a
Pierre
bunch
was
of
that?
novels together.
Okay, really quick before we get into the movie about Eric Red. Eric
Okay.
Red and Catherine Bigelow were partners for a while. I don't think they ever got together. But funny thing about Eric Red, if you see all his films, he's really kind of hardcore, edgy. He went to AFI Institute, a very good film school, but in 2000, following a car accident, Eric Red crashed his truck into a crowded bar in Los Angeles, resulting in the death of 2 patrons. After the incident, Red apparently exited his vehicle and attempted suicide by slitting his own throat with broken pieces of glass. Eric survived the incident and was taken to the hospital under an alias and was released weeks later. No charges were brought, but there was a civil trial where he had to pay $1 million to the families. But this guy's intense.
That's really tragic.
Yeah. But that's where, if you see all his, he made a movie in 80, he wrote a movie in 86, which was his thesis statement at AFI that I wanted to recommend for the podcast. But I wanted to do this one because I love Jeff Fahey. But even anyway, I do recommend The Hitcher, 1986. Great acting.
Mhm.
Great acting. No shit.
He didn't direct that though. He just wrote
He
it.
didn't. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Blue
But
Steel.
he's been a writer his entire career.
yeah, he directed a few.
He directed a considerable amount of his films.
He did a Western with Mickey Rourke, which I want to. I
Was that The
remember
Last
when that
Outlaw?
guy. Yeah, that was an HBO film, but I remember when it came out. I'm like, Mickey Rourke.
That looks
Anyway,
pretty-
Yeah, no, it looks good, right? Yeah.
The last thing that
The
he
Last
did
Outlaw.
was Night of the Wild in 2015.
But he was an intense guy.
By the way, while you guys were talking, I was trying to find out more about this book that it's based on. It was written in 1965, so.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's by the guy who wrote Planet Apes, right? He was a French guy. And he did
I wasn't able to find that out.
Pierre Francos Marie Louis Bolle, Boulle.
Boyle.
Boileau.
Or maybe it's a Boileau. Boileau.
Oh, EAU is pronounced O.
He was a.
It's O? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it
Boileau.
Boulle?
No.
No, it's Boileau.
Okay.
So this film, a guy, Jeff Fahey, gets into a car accident. His arm is all mangled. His pretty hot wife, Kim Delaney, has to make a decision. And the evil Dr. August Webb, she's like, yo, sign this, or he doesn't get his arm. Anyway, he gets an arm. And Dr. August Webb did this. It's an amazing surgery. So Jeff Fahey has a new arm. He's a professor, nice family man. Anyway, Jeff gets visions of people dying and murdered and what's going on here. He gets a little testy around things, and the investigation goes. Brad Dourif is in this, and I'll tell you this: I love him.
He's incredible.
Every role he's ever done. He did 2 episodes of Star Trek Voyager, which is amazing. He should have gotten a Golden Globe for that shit too. He played the killer. He played a killer in the crew. It was really hot. I'm that guy. You could tell he just, even if he has 1 or 2 scenes, he's in there. He doesn't phone it in ever. He's all about it.
My friend Tina worked with him on Halloween, the remake that Rob Zombie did.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
He did a movie with Ewan called Night Watch.
That
was really good.
He's been around since he played
75.
Billy. He played Billy.
75, yeah. That was his first, which he got nominated for Cuckoo's Nest.
Really? He was nominated for Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, I believe.
But George Burns won.
But then he didn't win. He won for Chucky eventually. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I
didn't know for a long time he was the voice of Chucky.
How awesome is that? I didn't find out until this week when we were watching this.
Yeah, Brad
Yeah.
Dourif is like this great actor. Everyone I know who's
He's
worked
really good.
or talked to me say that he's very serious and excuse me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dourif, but I was told you're not into improv at all. But he doesn't seem that way. He seems
in the Two
completely off the
Towers.
wall and improvisational.
He was like, I told you to take the wizard staff. Two Towers.
What is that from the Two Towers?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
told you to take the wizard staff.
Oh, by the way, Seth,
Dune?
it's a different author that you were
Okay.
thinking of. It's Pierre-Francois Marie Louis Boulet. It's a different guy.
Okay,
Who wrote
different
Planet of the Apes. He was much more mainstream writer.
guy. All right.
Yeah.
That guy wrote, it was confusing because that guy wrote crime
Yeah.
movies also.
But then Jeff Fahey finds other men who had body parts from the same guy. Like Jeff Fahey finds out, he wanted to find out where his new arm comes from, and he finds out it's from this psycho killer who, got put to
Killed
death.
20 people.
Killed 20
With his bare
people.
hands.
And so Jeff Fahey just wanted to find out the other men or people.
Who,
men
by
who-
the way, he doesn't find out that this is an arm from a psycho killer until the psycho killer that he was working with as a psychiatrist in the prison, who's grabbing his hands, notices the tattoo that all the psycho killers get, that he happened to not notice at all that there was that tattoo on his arm until many, many days later when the psycho killer in the prison alerts him to the fact that
and he
he's
flips over
marked
his wrist
with the tattoo of a psycho
It's
killer.
like right here.
Is it supposed to be the mark of anyone who's on death row?
It's a specific tattoo that certain people on death row and this whatever,
In
some
this
element
world.
of this narrative, whether it's just that prison or it's all prisons, but clearly the guy that he's dealing with as a psychiatrist has this same exact tattoo, but that never occurred to him until that was a very funny. I mean, I would go as far as to call that like a narrative error, but it's hilarious.
It's wacky, you know.
It was a narrative device. I almost say that the film borders on a little bit of a comedy.
Yeah,
that's
For me. I wouldn't.
It's wacky.
In a store, put it in a comedy section, but it's
okay,
a little...
so it's totally like goofy, especially the fact that it has a happy ending, which I think is great. And I think it's great when these dark. What's that?
Yeah.
It was the car chase for me that just
it was
sent it right into the comedy
you
aspect.
Mean it wasn't before the car chase when when the
it's
guy
sort of
lands perfectly on the windshield and his arm.
Oh, Brad. Well, that too.
You know, there was a shortage of stuntmen who could do falls in the 90s. There was a lot of dummy work. Like I've seen movies, I think it's Hard Targets, maybe, where they only have the budget for one stuntman. And so they drop dummies out for the minor characters. And then when the major characters drop, it's a stuntman going, whoa! So this had no money for that.
Oh no, I really like
right,
I really like the car chase, and then I'm giving spoilers away, but I really like the car chase, and then when he walks out and he's got like his neck brace and he's carrying the limbs and he's like, oh, and then she comes over and is like admiring him, and I wanted to see her like pet his head. I was just like, oh, come on.
Wait, so okay, then can you guys explain to me what I'm supposed to assume is going on at this point?
Yeah,
Is this a guy that when she took the head away, this was one of her secret experiments?
Yes,
that
so
she was
I
going to
think
take a dead body or a dying body and put the psycho head on it and not tell anybody?
I think what she wanted to do, she's Frankenstein. She's Dr. Frankenstein. And it was not just putting an arm on another person's body. That was just phase 1. Phase 2 or 3 or 4 was reassembling the entire body.
This is
right. So give the arms and legs to 3 different people. Give the head to some other body.
Yeah, and then
where did the head go? How long it takes for the body with the head to go after the other guys to reassemble it on the new body.
She must have
right?
How mad he got.
Period where the head acclimates to the new body, and then the head goes, wait a second, I want my old body back.
Yeah,
I know. That's what
I would have liked to see more dialogue or monologue of the guy with the head. I know
Charles.
that.
His name is Charles, guys.
Well, is Charles the original Psycho Killer's name?
Yes, he's the one that.
Is that really fair to call the guy with the head Charles when?
Well, that was his head.
But what
and I
about the
guess
guy's
his
body that they put
personality.
it on?
We don't know where the
that's-
torso.
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
what I was going to ask.
Or-
So she removes the head and then puts it on another torso because in the end,
We have to
you
talk
see the
about
body
the
parts in the thing breathing.
Can't let that go.
Well,
Wait.
really-
Oh, wait. Did she put the head back on the original body?
Who
So she
knows?
put
No.
she put the head
No.
back on a different body.
On
On
a
a
different
different
body.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Did
Yeah.
that body already have arms and legs?
I don't know.
I'm guessing
maybe
so.
It did, but it just had the wrong ones. Because he had to go back and get
And
the
also,
other
how
one.
did Dr. Webb know the psycho killer would be on the road at that time? Unless she was unless she was following him like the whole. That's what I mean by wacky, or like
I don't know.
the
Right.
horror
She
film.
made-
Maybe
Doesn't
she
matter.
set him
Place an
free.
answer your monster all the time. Once you make a person out of body parts, it just stands to reason. As a doctor, you would be obsessed.
But it kind of fits. I do like it. I do enjoy the film. I'm like, what the hell is this? Especially when Jeff Fahey goes to Brad Dourif and he's like, "Yo, Brad, our limbs are from a psycho killer. I've been getting things," and Jeff Fahey recognizes Brad Dourif's new paintings, who was a struggling artist the whole time. But now, since Brad is getting these visions from his new arm, he's doing all this great work, man.
Screams.
And and Brad is just fine with it. He's like, "Yo, Jeff, I'm sorry you're having problems, but I love my new arm.
I'm gonna be a
I'm gonna
millionaire.
smoke a cigarette and let's go have a beer. But until then, get out." And they do
Oh, and
have
the
the
other
beer.
and the other guy, I can't remember his name. The
With the
leg man
legs.
is now like like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he's doing great
Yeah,
on
of
the thing.
Because there's nothing like
This, like sword. and, like,
yeah.
Look at
Everyone
Judy.
knows that if you take
Look at-
everyone knows that if you take a serial killer's legs and graft them onto an average basketball player's
it'll be
body,
amazing.
he's going to be able to land a slam dunk from the free throw line, just like Michael Jackson did
Like
in
Crap, and
1986.
not Michael Jackson. Michael
I
Jordan.
mean, Michael Jordan.
Jackson.
Moonwalk.
If
to
you
the
take the
basket.
legs and you put them on Michael Jackson, the same thing would happen.
He'll start dancing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
do
a
have a
good
question though. This was one piece that I was like, okay, what's going on? Right before the same basketball, Michael Jordan, when he gets back to his apartment, okay, he's like having trouble walking up the stairs, and then like he's like calls the other guy who he got into a fight with at the bar, and he's like onto something, and then like that's when Charles in his new body comes. I'm sorry. He's coming for his legs, but his legs like stopped working. So did his legs like sense that they were gonna be gone soon? Like,
No, it's whenever
why
Charles
did they
That's
stop
like
working?
really deeply.
You had
into
a
it.
connection.
on that
I
body.
think-
Well, no, because okay, so he was having trouble walking, and he was like, "Come on, legs," and then he called the guy.
No,
called
I
Jeff
think
for
that
help.
I think that just like the legs get
So-
superpower and the arms get superpower and the graft onto the new body, the brain, the head gets superpowers, and the brain and Charles with his new powerful head
Yeah.
could sense that this guy was trying to get some help at a very weak moment, where his
Okay.
legs are failing on him, and like a predator, attacks a weak prey. He's like, nah, you're not getting any help from your buddy. I know exactly where you are. I'm going to get those legs from you right now. Now is the time.
But why were his legs giving out?
Because that's what happens. That's a separate issue. The legs give out, the arms get fucked up. Everybody's situation deteriorates in one way or another.
I don't know
getting a
though.
burst
Jeff Fahey's character had a lot of
superhuman.
strength in that car chase.
But
I mean,
yeah,
did
but
he
that's
even
the
like have like
problem.
a scratch?
Also, he like.
How did they do that scene? But how did they do that car? That was an amazing
don't
thing.
know.
Were those guys actually handcuffed together driving those? I mean,
I mean,
how did they? That was a pretty impressive car.
They
What do you
weren't
call that?
real
It's not a car chase.
handcuffs. They were breakaway hand.
I don't care what it is. Just having two cars like driving
It was-
side by
it was
side.
cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember seeing both cars a lot, so I think it was just like the door and the window, and two hands on like movable boards.
I know, but for a movie like this, that's a lot of fucking
Whole bunch of-
work. To
Oh
put in.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
It
whole
was cool,
budget
yeah.
went to car
That's right. That whole section of the last act was where all the money went in this film.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Yeah.
Well, there was also a car accident in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
It was
pretty
just
big,
a little
that
one,
was
but
but no, they had a few cars crash. It was a pile up. But that's what I mean by like really wacky. And even when the Charles is escaping that car crash that explodes with his legs and his arms falling down, I did get a sense it's like, wait a second, if that's your limbs, what limbs do you like? What body do you have now? And do you want your limbs back? It was just this morbid like sense of like what's his desire. But then Dr. Agatha Webb was there and she's like petting him and stuff, and like she just likes her. I can't even. Yeah, it's so
Her
strange.
baby.
It doesn't make sense, but like
She's
totally.
really good at playing creepy. What else? What have I seen her do similar things as an actress in?
She is
I'll look her
the
up.
critic. We looked her up. She's the critic who says she's going to kill the play in Birdman.
Right. Okay.
They try to
really?
fire her.
Yeah,
Mm.
vindictive, weird. She does these kind of roles.
She's cold.
Yeah, she's
Mm.
these cold, like. Yeah.
Oliver Twist.
Who is she
She's
in
in a
Oliver
lot of-
Twist?
I don't even know. Where was it?
Wait, which Oliver Twist?
TV miniseries 1999. She was Elizabeth Leaford.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. And I was in Oliver. Wow, she started in 1975. I just thought that was really weird. What did she do? She was in a TV miniseries called GBH right before Body Parts, and then another TV miniseries called A Year in Provence. Provence.
She works, man. I mean, she
Yeah.
works a lot in television.
I think, yeah, it was
Yeah,
weird.
she
She's
is
not
like-
making movies here. A lot
Yeah,
of TV
she is.
series.
Oh, I remember what I saw. What she really like imprinted in my mind. When she was in Rome, she played
Really?
Servilia of the Junii. She was in like 18 episodes of. Did you any of you guys watch the HBO series Rome?
No. But then
I have
John
not.
Milius.
No.
Oh man, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like the highest production value television series up to that point.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Wasn't there a lot of nudity in it too?
There was a lot of
remember someone
nudity, a
saying that.
lot of violence, a lot of
Male and
raunch,
female. A lot of
Yeah.
full frontal dudes.
messed up stuff. But it was so well written. I think it was Bruno Heller, but she was fantastic in that. She played like the matriarch who was, what was she? Was okay. It says sophisticated, elegant, and subtle. Servilia from one of the founding families of Rome. She was the mother. She played the mother of Brutus and Caesar's mistress turned bitter enemy. Yeah. That was she was badass in that. That's what I remember her from.
Yeah, she's got a good like cold upper class vibe going
Yeah.
on.
Exactly.
I had to mention an actor in this movie because he's a good actor. He's a really good actor, but he's in a thankless role in a really funny, kind of typical. Is this guy Zach Smokey, who's in a lot of horror movies? He's the cop with the hat who he goes in and he's the guy. You meet him because he's the guy who busted the serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
And now but evidently his
Oh
character
yes,
is not just a homicide detective. He also breaks up bar fights.
yes. I liked his character. What have I seen him in?
Who?
Zach Smokey was the one of the voodoo priests in
Yes.
The Serpent in the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his name is yeah.
Zach Smokey, I believe his name.
He was in an episode of Monk. I remember that shit.
I know. I think because I remember him in that movie, I was almost like, I don't know if I can take him seriously as like the cop.
What movie is that again, guys?
The Serpent in the Rainbow.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
We should probably cover that one day.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Good
That's
one.
Wes Craven Voodoo.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
And it's
Is
based
that
on
Bill
like,
Pullman?
Harvard
Bill Pullman?
study.
Yeah, the hunky Bill
That-
Pullman.
How do you pronounce his name? Zakes or Zax?
I think it's like Jake's.
With a Z.
Zakes.
Zakes Mokay.
Like
He's
Jake's.
from South Africa.
Zakes. I think it's Zakes.
Oh, he's South African, yeah. Because he looked really familiar, and I know I must have seen him in something, but I can't.
Yeah, I
he
bet you
passed
he's
away
good.
though.
Yeah, he died in
2009.
2009. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was in the X-Files.
He was in Dry White Season, Rage in Harlem, and Waterworld.
Oh, I know where I know him from Oz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Who is he in Oz?
It's just
And Knight Rider.
He did a Knight Rider.
I can't
I
think
don't
of
know
who
what
he
he
was
played
in
in that.
Oz, but I know that he was in it, and that's probably where I recognize him from because I was kind of obsessed with that show when it came out.
Yeah.
I watched like all the late '90s and early 2000s to mid 2000s HBO series. So if anybody was in, like, there's like a high probability that I know one of these actors from something like, especially a lot of classically trained actors ended up in
Yeah.
those TV series during that period. People had been washed up for a while, hadn't really worked much in the '90s. They got back on in the late '90s, early to mid 2000s with all these like new HBO series, especially after Sopranos came out. And they started just like running series after series after series after that. But he definitely, I don't know how much of a role he had on there, but I know he was on there.
That's the life of an actor, right? Like this guy was on Broadway.
Yeah.
Harold and the Boys, and then he's like wearing a hat, playing a guy who's like, "What do you mean your arm?" And then,
Yeah.
And then he ended up doing Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's not
He was
much different
directing
nowadays,
Shakespeare.
even, except that nowadays the cartoonish, ridiculous movies are these like billion-dollar blockbuster, comic book films.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Like,
My
if you
kids
think
love
about
this
it.
Heroes movie that Christian Slater is, and my husband's always like, "Why do you think he took that role?" And I was like, "I don't know. It was probably a big paycheck."
Yeah.
Wait, for which Christian Slater?
It's in this. I think it's called Heroes or We Can Be Heroes. My 2-year-old loves it, and it's these like, it's just watch it. But Christian Slater plays like this
I have a theory.
superhero flying.
I have a theory that
Does
when you
he
have
really?
kids,
Yeah.
when you have kids, you start making choices as an actor for what your kids can see.
Yes.
So there's a period where like people are like doing like, oh, I'm gonna be in Pulp Fiction, I'm gonna be in this, and then they're like, oh, I'm gonna be in My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can like track Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's career before they have kids. It's all this independent, gritty stuff. And then they have kids, and it's like all friendly and
My
stuff.
Super
like
Ex-Girlfriend's pretty funny. But just for body parts, the budget was $10 million, and the box office was 9.2, so it lost money. But I'm surprised it made that much.
Yeah.
Well,
there was like
Isaac and I did some research, and we found out why it probably didn't make as money.
Why is that?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'll read the exact quote for you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about.
I'm talking about the real.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Let me read it from Wikipedia. All right. Release. Yeah, Paramount pulled ads for the film in Milwaukee after police found dismembered bodies in Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment. Now, that's just Milwaukee, but it could be that maybe like that.
It was like Jeffrey Dahmer
big in the news at the time, and
there were like Jeffrey Dahmer jokes going around in the 90s.
Yeah, and maybe like it was a little too on the nose for date night to take your girlfriend to go see a movie about dismembered bodies when like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing was so heavy in the news.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
Check this out. So, and this movie was in theaters. So was Point Break and Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah.
Robin Hood
could have
Prince
been
of
that.
Thieves.
Wait, and Prince of Thieves, you said?
Yes, and Hot Shots, starring Charlie Sheen.
The good one. The first
one. The first one.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
So I'm just saying.
Was this a
so
summertime
you had to
film?
not be able to get
Yes, August 2nd. This was
There
a
you
summer
go.
film.
Point Break.
Yeah.
You would go to the Metroplex, and you would go, I want to go see Terminator 2, and they wouldn't let you in because it's sold out.
So you go see
Point Break, and it's probably sold out. And then he's like, no, but you look at the line. There's a long line of like movies before you got to Body
What's
Parts.
this movie, Body Parts? Let's go see this one. The line's too long for City Slickers. We can't get into City Slickers.
Wait, City
Let's
Slickers
go
was out
for
that summer
Body
too.
Parts.
Did he Slickers out at the same time?
Yes, I got the list. Yes.
Oh,
City Slickers was a big hit.
Yeah,
I
it
like
won.
City Slickers.
Oh, I'm not saying
Academy Award winner Jack Palance.
I could
Best
see how it sort of fits into this era.
Billy Crystal read Robert
Yes.
Bly's Iron John, I think, is what happened. But the writer read Iron John is like, there's going to be this men's movement one day. And City Slickers like totally like, go on a weekend with men and find out who you are.
There's so many weird stuff, man. The 1991 is a strange time.
Also,
Yeah.
remember, there was another category of actor that was an independent film actor. There was like, you were either a film actor or a TV actor or a commercial actor. It was very hard to move from one to the other. And in the 90s, there became this thing called an indie film actor.
Yeah,
A little club of people working for Weinstein, and said you couldn't get into that club. And so that's another thing about this movie is that it's got a certain level of actor.
Yeah.
Well, what was the first big Weinstein movie like in the
You look
90s?
at this one,
Pulp
the Crying
Fiction.
Game really puts them on the map.
The Crying Game, did you say?
They're on a you and I looked at it once. They were on a meteoric rise with little things collecting money with like.
I'm not talking about any of that though. I'm talking about the first movie, the first Weinstein film that was like a big deal commercially, where people were talking, like the average person on the street was talking.
I think it would probably be the Crying Game.
The Crying Game, right?
That would be my guess.
And what was that?
that was
1990.
That was
1992.
Okay, right. So this is like right before that, and then you have in '92 you also have Reservoir Dogs, and then in '93 you have Pulp Fiction.
94 is Pulp Fiction.
And then
'94, okay.
when does his brother at Dimension release Scream? When did Scream come out?
Wasn't that like 95?
That was
96?
later 90s. Yeah.
96.
Yeah, because Dimension is his
You can always
brother.
rely on Sean. I should even try for the dates because Sean's got it on lock.
Sean's got the dates in his mind.
Yes.
What won the Academy Awards that year, Sean? Watch his magic, everybody.
1991. Who won the Academy Award?
91.
Wait, which one? 91 or 96?
91.
91. Then do 91.
91 is a very special year because it was a top 5 year. Top 5 years only happened 2 other times in 1975 and 1934. By top 5, I mean Best Picture, Best Director, Jonathan Demme, Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins, Best Actress, Jodie Foster, and one of the screenplays, Silence of the Lambs, was adapted by a man named Ted Talley.
And Tally.
Wait, Big Five meaning that one film took 5 Oscars,
The top 5 Oscars.
or the top 5 most important Oscars?
It's actor, actress, director, one of the screenplays. There's 2 categories for screenplay, which is original screenplay and adapted screenplay. So
Okay,
you get
so one of the screenplay categories: actor, actress, what were the
director,
other-
picture.
So this got Silence of the Lambs got Best Actor, Best Director, Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Adapted Screenplay.
adaptation.
Correct. And that only happened 2 other times. It almost happened in 99 with American Beauty, but fucking Hilary Swank.
She deserved it.
She deserved
I know. I do. She
American Beauty didn't deserve 4 Academy Awards.
Wait,
I'm
who
just
did
saying
Hilary
Hilary
Swank-
Swank
It wasn't
is brilliant.
that good.
Who did Hilary Swank beat out in American Beauty?
Annette Bening.
Annette Bening?
Oh,
All right.
come on.
Okay, I'm not.
Hilary Swank. Wait, wasn't that for the one where
Boys Don't
film?
Cry.
Was it Boys Don't Cry?
Okay, yeah, that's like one of the greatest performances of that decade
Yeah.
for Best Actress. Come
And
on.
she won in 04 for
Who's
$1
done
Million
it?
Baby.
Who deserved that better? You know.
No, that's a good point. No, and I'm just saying, but that was 91, 96 was English Patient, Anthony Minghella, Jeffrey Rush for Shine, and I forgot the actress. Oh no.
What
Do
movie?
you even know anything from the last 3 years?
No, yeah, they stopped making Academy Award handbooks. So They don't make them for up until now. All they have is almanacs, which aren't that cool. I used to have a handbook that went from 1927 to 2000, and I would just
memorize it. It's amazing.
Well, you could see threads. You can
No,
see
that's
the threads for
interesting. You can
things.
see patterns, right?
Yes. That's why
They're like
1991
trends.
is a strange year. 1989 and 1990. See, 1991 and 1990 are just an extension of 1989. So there's that. 1981 doesn't exist.
What do you mean?
1985 was a big year. It was such a big wave. It kind of lasted until 90, 91, but there were different like crests. 95 is a bad year.
What happens in 95?
That was Braveheart, but there was nothing notable, really. I mean, Braveheart, but there was like cultural weirdness. And then 96 comes, bang! You have English Patient, you have Scream, you have that David Foster Wallace in For the Jest novel, and you have music and shit, and then you ride that wave. I'm sorry, I was.
Okay,
so
what did you say about
96 was a big
1981
turning
not
point.
existing?
There was nothing really notable from 1981, especially movie wise. I guess it was like a lull, because I guess between 1980 with Empire Strikes Back and Star Trek and like Raging Bull and the Shining, there weren't a lot of everything was like toast and done, and all the money to be invested was invested. So 1981, nothing really came up.
Who won that year?
That was
Somebody must have.
Best Director went to Warren Beatty for Reds, starring Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton. Best Picture went to Chariots of Fire with Vangelis theme. Dun, 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 dun. That was the only notable thing from
Was that
1981.
Vangelis who did the?
Yes, and he won the score
music?
for that.
Yeah,
and then
of
he
course he
did
did.
Blade Runner the year after.
Which was a way better score.
On Golden Pond. I couldn't believe that as a kid because I saw both those movies in the movie theater at 10 years old, and I was like, "There's no way Chariots of Fire can beat on Golden Pond."
I tried watching Reds. It's not that good.
It's got two of my favorite actors in it, but
Give it a shot.
Doesn't matter.
It's like, I don't know, man. It just seems like acting class. It just seems like acting class.
you know
Like,
what
hey,
I think
guys.
of every time we go into these Academy Awards trivia sessions with you, Sean? It always reminds me of Quiz Show.
94. That got
You
nominated.
know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, that got nominated for picture and director. 94 was a big year.
No, but do
That's
you know why
95 sucks so
you
much.
know why that movie reminds me of these conversations, Sean?
Why is that?
Have you seen the movie?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a whole thing in it. He's on a quiz show. He's on a trivia show.
Oh, because
and
I'm
he
answering
keeps-
questions. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember it was 55, but you should know. When did Marty win Best Picture?
55.
Yeah,
I had on
so
DVD.
He was forced to tank that. That was what the whole fucking movie was about.
Yeah, I remember that. John Turturro.
Yeah, John Turturro,
It was
his
a
character,
close-up,
was
too.
forced to tank the quiz show because they didn't want his Jewish face on there anymore. And
get my
he's
teeth
like, I know who the winner of 19. I said it was. I don't remember what he said it was, but he's like, I knew it was Marty. Everybody knows it was Marty, but they made me say it was something else. And that was like his whole shtick.
Yeah.
Somebody just posted a comment.
What did it?
I recently just saw Braveheart. What on earth is that film that has cultural weirdness? The film is a masterpiece.
It
It's a
is, but it's the
masterpiece.
only one. No, hold on. Commenter, thank you for commenting, but it's the only notable thing. That's what I'm saying. A lot of years have multiple notable things. But
He's wondering why the hell we're talking
it's just
about
that
a
one
masterpiece
movie.
like Braveheart.
Braveheart,
Yeah,
can I
it's
just tell
not,
him why
it's not diminishing Braveheart.
Can I tell him
man.
why
Hey,
Braveheart's
that's
not
everybody's. It's a lot of people's favorite movie,
Right.
and I love me some Mel. I'm just saying it was the only notable thing. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Now, I'm not even going to go into the historical things, like the fact
I
that
mean, Hackers came
was
out that
fought
year.
on a bridge. And that's why the cavalry in real life couldn't defeat them. But that's beside the point. I want you to watch that movie, okay? And every time there's an edit, I want you to go back and see what weapon the guys are holding in their hands from the previous scene. And you watch axes turn into swords and pikes turn into spears and you'll watch the continuity on the French princess's thing move off.
yeah.
There are so many mistakes that if you were a film student, you would get a C- or a D+.
And
if you
Braveheart
made
is not
Braveheart at
historically
NYU.
accurate.
It is not
It's
a
not
masterpiece.
historically
You like it
accurate.
a lot. I get it. It's great. You know, everyone loves that anti-Semite.
Big commenter.
He's awesome. I love it. He wants me thrown in an oven. I love it. But it's not a masterpiece. By any
Commenter.
sense.
Hold on. Speaking about 1995, my shirt is based on is a pop culture reference for a movie released in 1995. If you could name it, I'll mail you some baseball cards.
Callahan Auto.
From
1995.
Sandusky, Ohio. Anybody?
I can't think of the name of the movie.
And
I know
Dust-
exactly
I
who
have
it
no
is.
idea.
Callahan Auto
Okay,
Parts.
hold on.
Maybe our listener will do it. He could Google and cheat.
Jeez, Seth, you
That's
just
a good point.
misgendered our commenter
Oh,
again.
sorry.
Don't assume.
They.
No,
Say,
she.
like Ezra
No,
Miller,
it's-
bless his heart. Keep it free, Ezra. My man's on the run, Ezra Miller. He's on the run. He's on the run.
He's gonna be in
on
that
the
new.
ball.
He's gonna be in that new Ant-Man
Yeah, but he's on the
Flash
run.
film, whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Ant-Man, Flash.
Flash,
He has
Ant-Man,
an
they're both
arrest
ridiculous
One
characters.
is Marvel and one is DC.
Nobody can guess.
I don't know.
She
No,
just
I do.
said
It's
you're
Chris
probably as
Farley.
old
It's
as her
Chris Farley's
dad.
dad, and I
That's
can't remember the name of
hilarious.
it.
Wait. Oh, it's Chris Farley's
It's Chris
dad?
Farley and David Spade,
Okay, great.
but I can't remember the name of the movie.
It's
It's not. Is it Black Sheep?
Guys,
what?
you really don't know. You know all of that,
can't
but not the
remember-
name of the
no.
movie. Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Tommy
Ew.
Boy. They
No,
only did two-
I know. I've watched that movie so many times.
That's what I'm saying, right? Nice, right?
Yeah, that's cool, man. I think I might have seen it once, like when it came out. I don't remember.
See, you didn't know it because it came out in 1995.
You
It's
said
like
you're
a
probably
weird-
as old as my dad, sweetie.
Yeah,
Haha.
I already caught that. It was pretty funny.
I like.
It
I
is-
It was a
it
funny
is
movie.
funny. It's
Queen
very funny.
Boudica Radiant. It was a funny movie.
Yes.
Tommy Boy. I know that you're probably from a younger generation based on your comments, but I think you would find it definitely entertaining.
How many people know
Tommy
who
Boy's funny. Yeah.
Tommy Boy's
No,
a classic, funny film.
It- it
Everybody
is a-
loves
It's a
that.
classic.
Queen
Yeah.
Boudica was a Celtic woman who
Yes.
tried to drive the Romans out, and we actually recommended Judy work on her as a
Yes.
character at one point.
I remember that.
Yeah.
They did make
Just said
a
who's in
movie
it.
about her. I forget if it was English or I remember when they did that. It wasn't the budget wasn't that big for it though. They haven't made a blockbuster on her character.
No.
Around
Is
that.
she in the Romans show that you showed me, Isaac?
Which show?
The one with the English actors all being Romans.
Are you talking
I think
about
it's
Rome?
Chris Farley and
Not
David
Rome, the new
Spade.
one. Where they're in England and they're killing people, or in Germany.
Oh, the
That's what Romans do, right? They go to other countries to kill people.
that's the one with all that metaphysical Britannia.
Imperialist.
Britannia. Is she in
Britannia.
Britannia?
Which one are we talking about?
Queen Boudica.
What the hell's
I'm not
Britannia?
sure. I
It
don't
was
remember.
Celtic. wasn't it?
But guys, it's getting to that
Isn't that
time
time?
right now, so we're gonna have to
Okay,
wrap it
we
up.
should
Thank
wrap
you,
it up on,
Queen Boudica Radiant, for participating.
on body parts.
And the actors in Tommy Boy are Chris Farley and David Spade.
David
right?
Spade.
And Rob Lowe and Bo Derek and Brian Dennehy.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Oh,
It's a
So,
great
yeah,
film.
come back next week and let us know if you saw it next Wednesday, 9:30, and tell
Wait,
us
what's
what
our-
you thought.
Yeah, what's our next movie?
Yeah,
Our
what are
next-
we doing
Oh,
next?
it's Seth,
right?
right?
I thought it was time for a kaiju movie.
What's
So
that?
we're gonna watch Kaiju, a giant monster movie of guys in suits.
Oh, I love monster movies.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Godzilla, Mothra, Tokyo SOS from the early 2000s, I think.
Early aughts. The early aughts. Mothzilla,
Okay.
Mothra.
Godzilla, Tokyo SOS.
Godzilla,
Depending on what
Tokyo,
version you know,
SOS.
the other monsters.
Godzilla, Tokyo.
Tokyo, SOS.
Yes.
Tokyo.
Boudica.
S-O.
Thank you, Queen
S.
Boudica.
What year is that?
That what year is it? Who gets there?
Did you say 2005?
2005?
No, I thought that's what you just said.
No, I don't. It's hold on. I moved my device to look up Zake's Mocha. This thing is slow.
What's the film rated?
03?
Is it 03?
Yes. It's
It's 03.
Godzilla,
Oh.
Tokyo.
Yep.
SOS. That colon makes all the difference. 03.
03.
Wait, what is
03.
it?
All
The
right.
title again?
Godzilla, Tokyo SOS, right? That's the title?
Godzilla.
Sorry,
say it again. Godzilla what?
Godzilla,
colon Tokyo.
Tokyo, SOS.
SOS. Which is funny because SOS is Save Our Ship, and Tokyo is a city, so they wouldn't be saying SOS.
They just you know what I like about the Japanese? They just pull words out of nowhere and put it together, and it kind of makes sense.
Well, you mean like Godzilla?
Yeah, or Tokyo SOS. It just means like Tokyo calling
Needs
for
help.
help. Like Tokyo is calling for help. That's what it is. Godzilla's here. We're calling for help. That's how you really translate.
This is the greatest Godzilla movie ever. Okay,
Right.
It has the cast members from the old '60s Godzilla returning. The old actor from Mothra is in it.
That's a Hollywood move.
And Mothra's a Hollywood movie?
No, taking actors from the original and putting it in the reboot. That's a Hollywood.
Yeah, you know they know.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's got other monsters in it, but it's got Godzilla. It's actually a sequel, but you won't need to see the one before it.
Okay.
Thank God. Oh, so the first one's Godzilla in 2000, and then this is Godzilla, hence the colon Tokyo SOS.
I don't know, but there's this thing in it that's funny is that there was a prime minister in the first one who built a device to defeat Godzilla, and because of all the money that goes into that, they're not the prime minister in this one. They make a little comment that they kind of got rid of the last prime minister over the debacle of the device to get rid of Godzilla. God bless you, Queen Radiant, for being our first
All right,
viewer.
you got it.
This is fun.
All right. Cool.
We didn't talk about body parts.
She's
much.
thinking about that because I sneezed. Thank you.
Oh.
All right. Well, we're going to be signing off now.
All right.
See you next week, Queen.
Bye.
Good night.